Hey guys, this is Alan and today I'm going to show you how to take care of your bananas in the winter time. Now, bananas are one of the easiest plants to grow in my opinion, but one of the main mistakes people make is watering them. A lot of people assume they need a lot of water, but do you know banana plants are mainly made out of water? You have to treat them like a succulent or a cactus. And what happens when you water those too much? They rot. So that is the main reason why you don't want to water your banana plants during the winter as much. I live in Arizona, and here we don't really get that much rain, guys. And even here, I don't water my bananas that often. Now the one you see behind me here, I have two different varieties. I have Goldfinger here and Puerto Rican plantains. Now these guys right here, I have not watered them since I would say early November. It is late December right now, and I usually don't water at all depending on the temperatures from usually October, November time through March in my area, that is Arizona. We're a lot hotter here than most people. Obviously in your area you probably will not have to water your bananas um, a lot sooner because you get colder and you get a lot more rain than I do. So the main killer of bananas during the winter time, believe it or not, it's not going to be the cold, it's going to be water. Banana plants rot very easily, especially if they haven't been in the ground for too long and you keep the soil too wet. You want the soil to be fully dry, 100% in between watering. Here in the winter time, I don't water at all. Like I said, all the way from October time through maybe March time, depending on the temperatures. In your area, to be more specific, as soon as your night temperatures drop below 50 degrees, I would say that's safe to start watering your plants. And resume watering once you see new leaves come up in the spring, or once your night temperatures are at least 50 to 60 degrees consistently and expected to go higher in the next month or so, then it's safe to water your bananas. How do you water bananas? Just like you do any other plant, guys. You water shallow because the roots only go a few feet in the ground. They're not that deep. And then you don't water until the soil is fully dry. Keeping the soil wet will rot your bananas very easily. It also depends on your drainage, guys. I know a lot of people show you that they water all the time and their bananas grow like weeds. Guess what? They're growing very quickly because the temperatures. If your temperatures are warm and the bananas are growing very fast, I mean, obviously that's gonna offset overwatering them. But guess what's gonna happen if the opposite is true? They're gonna rot very easily. Now this one right here, let's talk about winter protection. In my area, my coldest temperature that I have been is 19 degrees. Now, 19 degrees is, don't worry too much about the number. It's more importantly, it's gonna be how long you stay at those temperatures. In 5 years I've been in this property, the coldest temperature, like I said, was 19 degrees for about 12 hours straight every night for a whole week. And that is the coldest I have ever been here. As long as your soil doesn't freeze in the winter time, most banana varieties will make it through the winter. So obviously the leaves are going to be cold sensitive. Anything that the frost hits is going to die back. That is only cosmetic damage and it will not kill your banana plants as long as the soil does not freeze in your area. Or if you keep your soil wet, obviously your banana will probably rot. So the first thing you keep in mind in the wintertime is do not plant your bananas late in the season. A banana plant that's been rooted in the ground, or it's been in the ground a lot longer and able to root itself in the ground somewhat, will be a lot stronger than one that you just put in the ground. This is the main reason why I don't recommend planting your bananas late in the season. You want to allow your plants to grow some roots in the soil before winter hits. Because this one right here, it looks amazing. I know I have a lot of dead leaves here. This is mainly from frost, but this is nothing. This is the warmest winter we have had here in 5 years. By now, most of my leaves are usually brown, dead looking, and the whole thing looks dead. So yeah, that is only cosmetic damage. It's only temporary. So don't worry too much about it. The main thing to worry about is going to be keeping your banana dry in the winter and making sure that your soil doesn't freeze. Now let's say you live in an area where the soil freezes during the winter time. At that point, you have two choices. The first one is you will need to create a microclimate that prevents the soil from freezing in that immediate area. And the second one is going to be by digging your plant up and then bring it inside your house and keep it there until springtime. And you will have to do that every single year. So you're going to be growing your banana plant as an annual plant. But before winter hits, because your soil freezes, you're gonna have to dig it up and then trim everything up and then just put it in the basement or somewhere that is very dark and not that cold in your house, and just leave it there. The plant will go into a semi-dormant state and it will not die as long as you don't keep it wet. And then as soon as the temperatures warm up, you can bring it back outside, replant it, and it will grow again during the growing season. Those are only your two choices, especially if you live in an area where your soil freezes during the winter time. Now, in the description below, I will post all the varieties that I personally have experience with, that I personally have in the ground, and I have been through the winter, several winters, and actually tested them to what temperatures. Remember, my coldest temperature here has been 19 degrees. And this one here, when it got that cold, all the leaves turn black and completely die off overnight. And then even the main trunks, they completely froze. They were frozen solid because it was so cold. But guess what? It didn't die. It was only cosmetic damage. And because I kept my plant dry during the winter, it came back in the spring. And that is usually what happens here in my area. So they take cosmetic damage in the winter, they look nasty, dead, and then they usually come back in the spring. This plant right here, we planted in summer of 2017. Right now it's late December 2020. So it's been in the ground for about 3 years. And when we first put it in the ground, we put 3 or 4 in the ground about this big, and in that time they grew this big. And you can see we still got fruit in here. Now this is not normal, guys, because we're in the middle of the winter. If you don't know, bananas, the fruit itself, it takes several months to actually ripen. But because our temperatures have been warmer than normal here during this winter, this fruit is still hanging in there and it's still ripening. And if you come look over here, you can actually see the flowers are actually opening up, and the flowers, it's still growing. And as long as the temperatures remain to what they have been recently, that will fully ripen by springtime. The fruit itself, depending on the temperatures in your area, in my area, it takes about 6 to 8 months to ripen. Obviously, if you live in a tropical environment, they will ripen a lot sooner. Now, if you live in a colder climate, where it's a lot colder at night, during daytime, a lot more cloudy, it will take even longer to ripen. So keep that in mind when growing banana plants. But that's about it, guys. So, how to protect your banana plants in the winter? If you have them in a container, for one, the water is the most important part of protecting your plants in the winter. Let them fully dry 100%. And then when you do water, do not completely soak them. You only water maybe half a cup to a full cup, and don't soak the whole container. Keep your banana outside. If your temperatures remain, I would say in the mid-20s to mid-20s or so. Now if you drop lower than that, then bring them in the house, especially if they are in a container, because they are not going to be as strong as one that is in the ground. Once they are in the ground, they will become a lot stronger, but you will get a lot more cosmetic damage outside. Don't worry about it. That is normal during the winter time. And don't even prune it. Don't do anything to them. And wait until growing season. And then you can go ahead and prune back all the dead stuff. So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, comment below, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time.